Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and do not mind the bare shelves because in today's video I'm going to be packing up my tack for my Breyerfest restock that's coming up next week. And I'm going to be, while I pack it all up, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for surviving Breyerfest and the Clarion, because that is a hectic weekend just alone in the Clarion. So I'm going to give you tips for both of those things, and it's just going to be a fun video while I just pack up my tack, so whenever somebody orders it off, I can just ship it off and it's all prepared and ready to go to its new home. I lowered my camera down so you can see what I'm doing, and you can see the horses behind me, but this is just what I'm doing. I'm just packing up the halters. But you might be wondering, why am I qualified to give you tips on Breyerfest in the Clarion? Well, I have been there 4 times. 3 times in person, once online, so this year will be my 5th Breyerfest, which is crazy because like 6 years ago I didn't ever think I was going to go to Breyerfest, and I've been there 5 times since then, so that is so cool. But yeah, I've been there quite a few times. I've experienced the things that you should and shouldn't do, and I'm just going to give you some tips on that. Starting with Breyerfest. We'll start with Breyerfest and then do the Clarion, because the Clarion is its own thing. It's wild. But tip number 1 is just take your time and experience, just do everything, because it's a long weekend. You think it's short until you get in the horse park and then do everything the first day. I think I made that mistake my first year, is I went and did everything and just went crazy on the first day, and then Saturday and Sunday you don't really have anything to do because it's kind of the same thing every single day. So space your things out. On Friday you can do the stores, get your models, and then Saturday you can meet the horses, watch the shows, go to the auction, which I highly recommend because it is just so fun and crazy to watch people spend loads of money on a model horse, which I know it goes to a good cause, but it's crazy. I wouldn't be able to mess with a horse I spent that much on. And my next tip is take lots of pictures, because in Breyerfest 2024, I think, I did not take as many pictures as I thought I did, and I regret that so much because it's just so fun to put little clips together and videos together whenever you're like missing Breyerfest, and you can post them and stuff, and even if you don't post them, it's just so fun to look back at pictures. So with that, your phone is going to die incredibly fast while taking pictures and videos. I don't know if it's just my phone or not, but it dies so fast when I have my camera out and I'm taking videos and stuff. So bring a portable charger, because your phone is going to die, especially, I don't think they're doing the show this year, so you're not going to need your phone that late, but you're going to want to take lots of pictures, so make sure you have that portable charger. And then for a bag, I recommend bringing a little like crossbody bag, because I know in the Breyer store they don't let big bags into the Breyer store, so you'd have to check a bag, which is fine. I just didn't like checking a bag because then you gotta go and pick it up again. But like one of those like Lululemon crossbody bags, kind of like that. That's what I took, and it was perfect. It can carry your money, your little notes you need to remember what rooms models are in and stuff. So it's just a simple little bag to take, and it's not that hard to carry around because it's so small and it's just clipped to you and you know where it is at all times. We had to take a little intermission there because my donkey got out and the other one was having a nervous wreck without him because he's got like separation anxiety. But anyways, my next tip is go to the Breyer hosted events, like the auction. I think I said earlier, the auction is so much fun to watch, and getting to see those models in person is crazy. The details, just the work put into them, it's so different. Like if you take an auction model bay compared to like this guy, it's just tremendous amount difference. Like it's just crazy, and it's crazy to watch people spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on those models, which I would be terrified to touch it if I got an auction model. But it goes to a good cause and you get a pretty model out of it, so it's worth it. But I highly recommend going to watch that. Get there way earlier than it starts. I got there like an hour before it started, maybe, I don't know, but that thing gets packed. It's in like this, like if you go and watch the shows that the Kentucky Horse Park does with the racehorses, the retired racehorses that they have. They do little shows where they bring the horses out. Anyways, they do it in this like circular area, covered area, so it gets pretty full pretty fast. So I recommend getting there way earlier than it starts if you want to have a seat. If you don't want to have a seat and you just want to come from the park, you'll probably be standing with a bunch of people because it's just so full. But I highly recommend watching that, and while you wait, you could talk to people. I talked to a bunch of people while I was sitting there, and the people next to me actually bought an auction model, so it was so cool to get to see the model even that much closer in person, and they were so sweet. And then another Breyer hosted event, I think it's hosted by Breyer or it's just put on by the social media people, is the social media meetup. I love the social media meetup. That is one of my favorite parts about Breyerfest, is getting to go to the social media meetup, because you get to meet all the people that you follow and talk to online, and you get to meet them in person, and everybody is so nice there. There's raffles, and you can sign models, so bring a model. I always wanted to bring a model, and then I could never end up bringing one or finding one, so if you want to have people sign something, get a model. Or I seen people signing like the Celebration Horses box, which I thought was super cool. But yeah, I didn't have a model, but I recommend bringing a model and then just go hang out there. It's so much fun. There's so many people to talk to. We traded bracelets. I don't know if they're trading bracelets this year because I haven't really dug into that because I'm not going in person, but I'm sure there's going to be people. They trade stickers, they give little cards away. It's just so much fun, and I highly recommend going to that, even if you don't have like you're not that present on social media, but there's YouTubers there. It's just so fun. It's just another way to meet even more people that love the hobby that you love. So I highly recommend checking that out. And then my next tip is meet the real horses. I know it's like, oh, this is a model horse event, like gotta do all that, but meet the real horses. It is so fun. I love meeting Oliver every year. Not meeting him, but seeing him every year and seeing like this guy, and it's just like so fun to see. I met Ezra one year. It's just so fun to see like you have the model and then you get to go and meet the real horse, and they're always so nice and so sweet, and their owners are so sweet. I remember last year I talked to Danny's owner for like ever, and it was just amazing, and Danny was just being the best girl ever. So meet the real horses. It is worth it. And my next tip is get the Breyerfest app. I'm pretty sure they're using it this year. They take forever to update it, but I remember last year they didn't like announce the app until a couple weeks before Breyerfest, but they've done it 2 years in a row so far. And it has like meet and greet times for the horses and show times and all the models on there. So like, and maps of the park, which you're going to need because, I mean, it's kind of easy to get around, but if you just want to know like where the barns are and where you get in line for stuff, I would get a map or just get the app. The app is, and it's just cool to have like a little Breyerfest thing on your phone. I think my last tip for Breyerfest is take breaks. Charlie's messing with my window, but take breaks. You are going to need it, because I know Saturday I was on my feet all day. I did not take that many breaks. I was at the park all day, doing stuff, going to different places, and then the social media meetup was that night, and then I didn't even walk around the Clarion that much that night because my feet were just dying. And I think I walked like, I don't even know, like 25,000 steps that day. It was crazy. So take breaks throughout the day. You're going to need it. Go back to the hotel, refresh, go get some lunch or something, because Breyerfest is long and it is hot. I live in Texas and we have very hot summers here, and gets very hot in Kentucky. You wouldn't think it is that hot until it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you are just dying. So take some break. Moving on to the craziest thing about Breyerfest, the Clarion. This thing could have its own video because it is just, it's crazy. Like, you see it online and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. It is a madhouse in there. There's people going into rooms, walking around the hallway. It's just crazy. So my first tip is just getting there, like parking. Have someone that knows how to drive, because you're gonna have to like weave your way through different places, and they normally have like overflow parking down a hill, and then like it's all in this grassy area. So hopefully you know how to drive really well when you get to the Clarion, because it is just packed. Or they have shuttles. Saturday night, me and my grandma were at the auction, and then my mom and sister were at the Clarion waiting for us, so we didn't have a car. So we took the shuttle from the auction to the Clarion, and it was fun. We got to go like drive by all the horse pastures. So that's like another tip that you can piggyback off of this, is the shuttles are a good way to get around. I'm pretty sure they have them going from like the Clarion to the horse park to the Alltech Arena. I'm pretty sure they go everywhere. So you can also see that on the Breyerfest app, is where the shuttles are like stopping and picking people up at. And now that I'm picking him up, I'm thinking, research like model prices, like how much you're willing to spend on a model. Like I knew I wanted to get an Oliver at Breyerfest a couple years ago, and he was new in box, and I seen him at the park and in different rooms in the Clarion for like $60 and $70 and just crazy prices, and I knew I was not going to spend that much on him. And so just like keep looking and research prices for models, because I was able to find him for $35 in a room. So look around, research prices, do not overspend on a model. And then go to the Clarion Saturday night, because I know that some people, they start, because it's getting closer to the end of Breyerfest, we're halfway through, people start doing sales for like models and deals and stuff. Like I remember one room was doing like buy one get one or two free of like models in boxes, which I regret not doing because there were so many models in boxes. So, and then if you're there Sunday, I remember my first Breyerfest in person, which was 2022. We were there like Sunday afternoon, and I got a $30 model for $15. So they were like crazy deals going on. So definitely do not sleep on the Clarion sales, because some of them can be just amazing. I'm going to read some of the responses that you guys sent in on my Instagram story when I asked like, what are some tips that you learned or that you figured out during Breyerfest, and I'll like piggyback off of them. So the first one is, be respectful of people's space and be patient. So most of these are kind of Clarion related, so that's why I saved them for this. But yes, be respectful and be patient. There is loads of people in the Clarion, and you don't just want to be shoving everybody around, because that's not very nice. So we don't want to do that. And I'm kind of going to piggyback off that. Like, don't pick up everybody's models. Like, oh, this is a model I've been looking for. It's so pretty. Ask before you could pick some models up, because I was in a room one time and this lady was kind of reaching over people and then dominoed the whole shelf of models over, and the room kind of just went silent and like, ooh, so like just don't reach over people and try to grab the models. Like, there's bins of bodies, like you can just dig through that, it doesn't matter because they're bodies. But if you see some models on the shelves and stuff, you want to be careful, because Breyers are very tippy, so you don't want to reach over to grab one and then just domino the shelf over. So, and then the respectful part, these are people's hotel rooms. Even like, it's just crazy enough that they are letting us go in there and look at their beautiful models. It is still their hotel rooms, they're still sleeping there, so you still want to keep it nice. Don't like mess up their room, I guess. I don't really know who would do that, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Those are still people's hotel rooms, so you still want to be respectful and treat them as hotel rooms. Even though you are looking at all these models and you are just surprised at all the models that you could fit into a hotel room, they are still hotel rooms. And then this next one I see is, know what you're willing to pay for a model that you're looking for before you go and have fun. So yeah, I like to research, like if I'm looking for a certain model, again, like Oliver, I like to research how much he is worth. I didn't care if he was new in box or not, I just wanted an Oliver. So I researched him, I knew what I was willing to go up enough, or what was a good steal for him. So just research what models you want, or make a list of like, these are my wants, my maybes, and then if they're there, I'll get them. So then you can kind of figure out what models you're looking for, so you don't just go in there and like blow everything on models you didn't need. Well, we need them all, but. This next one I see is, bring big bags of bring big bags or bring a bunch of pony pouches, which I recommend both. And then this other one says that Crackle Barrel has reusable bags for $2, which is great for shopping at the Clarion or the Kentucky Horse Park, which are good tips. I know the Breyer store also gives you like those big Breyer bags they put your models in, and I think the special runs come with that too. But pony pouches will be your best friend. I remember my first Breyerfest, I didn't really know stuff about the hobby. I was really young and stuff, so I just had bubble wrap, and bubble wrap works, but they were just in bubble wrap in a backpack on a plane. The models were fine, but the next year I learned pony pouches and I learned how to sew them. And if you can't sew, I know there's a bunch of people that sell them, and they just save your ponies so much. So I would recommend bringing a couple of those for the models. And then for the big bag part, the bags, I used my Breyer bag that they gave me from the store to carry my models through the airport, which I just use it as a carry-on, and it fit under the plane seats. So they're great for taking the models on the plane and taking them home, because I didn't trust putting my models in the suitcase and letting them go under the plane, because I remember my first Breyerfest, we were in the special run line, and this lady was in front of us, and she was like, one of her special show models broke underneath the plane when they were like doing stuff with the bag. So I was traumatized from that story, so my models will never go underneath the plane because that just scares me. So I like to keep them with me, and the big bags are great for hauling them around the airport. I didn't get that many stares with horse heads sticking out of the bag. They weren't sticking, they were covered in bubble wrap, but yeah, the big bags are a great tip. This next one is kind of Breyerfest and Clarion related. Bring a reusable water bottle. I can't remember if they sold water at the park or not. I just brought water from the hotel, but they do sell lemonade, and that is very good lemonade. So I recommend that you try the lemonade that they have. They have the reusable cups. I brought my cup from one year and brought it back, and they were able to use it. So I'm pretty sure you can use the reusable cups for multiple years. I don't know if they changed it, but yes, stay very hydrated because you're going to be out in the hot sun and you're going to be sweating, and you just need to stay hydrated. So bring reusable water, or just bring water from the hotel. They might sell water there. I can't remember. But looking at this next tip, I didn't know because I don't collect resins or artist models, and I'm not a painter, but if you're purchasing resins to paint, bring a small LED light or flashlight and check for air holes. So I didn't know that, but I guess if you are buying resin models, an LED, you could see the air bubbles, because I'm sure you do not want bubbles on your model. So that's a really cool tip. I didn't know that, but that is very cool. So if you are an artist and you paint models, or you're looking to buy a resin to get painted, bring a LED flashlight and check for air bubbles in your model. Okay, I've seen a bunch like this, but take your time, don't feel rushed. You will be able to see every room. You will be able to see every room in the Clarion unless you get lost, which I probably have not seen every single room in the Clarion because I get lost in that thing. But yes, there is like 3 days that you can go, 3 days you can go and look at the Clarion, because I know Thursday is kind of like the kickoff to Breyerfest. Like everyone goes to the Clarion, and I think they're having their kickoff party. I don't know if they're doing it this year, but they did do it last year where they had like a party. It was the Cheers to 75 Years party, so maybe it was just that. But you have 3 days to go around the Clarion. There's going to be the same people, the same room, same horses. So take your time, but I will say, if you see a model for a good price and you know that is a good price, snag that model up, because it probably won't be there the next day. I learned my lesson with that. I seen a model and I was like, oh, I know that's a good price, and I've wanted that model, but I was like, it'll be here tomorrow. I'll just get it tomorrow, and it wasn't there tomorrow. So if you see a model that you have been wanting and you see it for an amazing price, just snag it up then, and because you don't know if it is going to be there tomorrow. This one is a long one, so I'm just going to read through the whole thing and then bounce around on all the things that it says. But there's a Facebook page dedicated to Clarion rooms. I like to write down the room and the room number, what horses I'm interested in with the price. That way I can keep shopping to know exactly who I want to buy while also staying in budget. It's amazing there, so definitely watch out for the maps. I think most of them are pretty easy to spot by the doorways. It's also very crowded, lol. Yes, somewhere in there there's a map. I could never find the maps, but I didn't look hard enough for the maps. So definitely try and find a map. And then I think on YouTube and like YouTubers that have Clarion rooms and Instagram people, they will post their Clarion room and they will like do a little overview of what they have. And I recommend watching those posts and stuff and joining this Facebook page that she's talking about, because you can see what models are in what rooms, what prices. You can write down, like, use Thursday as like a scope out day. Like, you're just walking around the Clarion, you're not really buying anything. You're just looking at all the rooms, seeing what they have. And some rooms have like little pieces of paper you can rip off that have the room number. And so you can go around and like scope out the rooms, see who has what horses, and then write down the rooms. So I had like the notes app full of rooms that I wanted to go back in, and the Nakota that I got up there, I got it for an amazing deal. The lady was so nice and she was doing a bunch of deals, so I wrote down her room number and then I went back there and got a couple more models from her, and she was amazing. So write down the room numbers that you want to go and check out. A budget that you want to stick to that budget, because Breyerfest is crazy. You go in there and your brain just switches to like, oh my gosh, I want everything. I want everything in this room. And it is so easy to overspend at Breyerfest, especially just in the Clarion alone. Just that doesn't even count Breyerfest. So set a budget, know what you're wanting, what you're looking for, add that into your budget, and then you can like bring some extra money in case you find like this, oh, I didn't know the plushie. I didn't like the plushie this much online, but now I'm in person and it's so cute and I want to get it. So you can bring extra money for that, but I highly recommend sticking to a budget, because then you're just going to blow all your money at Breyerfest, which it is so easy to do that because it is just crazy, and it's just like this Disneyland for horse people is what I say. That is all for today's tips and tricks video. I got all my tack packed up and ready for my Breyerfest restock, which will be a week from Saturday if you're watching this when I post it. I'll probably do a video of like what to pack for Breyerfest, because there's a bunch of random things that you didn't know you needed till you're at Breyerfest, and I'm pretty sure I posted it last year and it was one of my first videos, so it's horrible. I need to redo it, and I'm going to redo it. So I think all the way till Breyerfest, most of my videos will be Breyerfest related, because the hype for Breyerfest is unreal. It's just so exciting and I cannot wait. So if you have any more tips and tricks that I didn't cover, comment them in the comments so we could just help everybody out. That if it's your first Breyerfest or if it's your 20th Breyerfest, there's always new things you can learn. So make sure to check out my Instagram and my TikTok. I post so much horsey content over there, and now that we're reaching Breyerfest, I am so active on my stories, and I just am in the model horse phase, just crazy about it. And so I will have more videos posted as we lead up to Breyerfest. So you're going to make sure you want to subscribe so you can always know when I post a new video, and I will see you next week. Bye!